I've had the privilege of serving our students here since 2002, and it is truly a wonderful experience for me. It's been one in which I've been challenged professionally. I've been challenged personally as well. But every year we get better. And the reason why we get better is there's two things that I committed to memory early in my time here. And they were passed on to me graciously by the late, great Larry James, who the field is named after. He served as our Dean of Athletics and Recreation for a number of years here at the institution. He was also an Olympian, received a gold medal in the '68 Olympics. And early in my time here, he said, Pedro, what you need to do is always keep these two things in mind. Do the basics brilliantly. No, so that was one thing. Do the basics brilliantly. And the main thing is the main thing. Now, keep the main thing the main thing. And what he referred to was the students. What he referred to was always be in a position to help students, regardless of how difficult the situation or the matter may be. I rely on the Student Senate to do the same thing that is expected of me. We want to be a better university. You've been elected by the student body of almost 8,700 students. 3,039 as of this fall were residential students. And so you have a big job. There's parts of our student community that feel underserved, that they don't feel connected to the university. And that is very evident when you look at our numbers, our statistics. We've done better in terms of third semester retention rates, and 6-year and 4th, 5th, and 6-year graduation rates, but we could do better. And how can we do better? Is by making sure that, you know, what we tell students when they come on campus for open house, what our admissions team goes on the road and paints a picture of Stockton, this bucolic place in the Pinelands, that we make it actually come to life, that really we care. No, that you care as a student about making this place better. No, it's a leadership responsibility. It's a big responsibility. And I will rely on you, and you will rely on us. And Craig was very right about the fact that, you know, yes, I have superiors. You know, I report to Dr. McNeely Green, and then Dr. Tomasa Gonzalez, and then the president. But the reality is, the way I see it, I work for the students. That's my number one priority, my number one obligation, is to make sure that I'm listening. So what you'll find, you know, in terms of approaches, open door. I give my card to all the students, senators included. It has all my numbers, cell phone included. And I tell you, if you think I can help you and it's 2 in the morning, call or text or whatever you feel comfortable, because the bottom line is that we want to make sure that we're in a position to help before something snowballs and maybe gets worse. If you get word that some students are upset about something and you start seeing a stream in social media, give us a heads up, because the bottom line is that we need to make sure that we're living our mission as an institution. And part of that mission is obsessing about the student experience. So what brought me here to the university? I know many of you are still trying to figure out what you want to do after you get your degree from here. as you wrestle with answering that question, I can share with you a little bit about my experience as an undergraduate at the University at Buffalo. Originally, I grew up in New York City, a little neighborhood called Washington Heights, which is right across the George Washington Bridge. For a fair part of the history of the Heights in the time that I was there, it was the home to a very, well, the largest Dominican American community in the United States. And it borders Harlem. So I grew up there. At the time that I was growing up, in the city, that neighborhood had the highest homicide rate in all the 5 boroughs of the city. A lot of drugs, a lot of gang violence. And I could have chosen different routes. I was fortunate though. And I know that many of you are very fortunate to have caring parents that go above and beyond. My parents were very much grounded in their faith, and that faith, I believe, is what kept me focused. As a young man, I went to George Washington High School, and I was fortunate enough that at the high school they had a PM school, which was school from 3 to 6 p.m., and night school from 6 to 9. So my 11th grade, I went to school basically 13 hours a day. I graduated high school in 3 years, and I was in the EOP summer program, similar to our EOF program, EOP summer program at the University of Buffalo at the age of 16. I tried to get out of going for the summer program because my family, the economic circumstances at home weren't all that great. And I had worked and I had conditioned myself, and I was getting myself ready to take a job as a New York City lifeguard. That at that time, the pay was $8.03 an hour. This is many, many years ago. $8.03 an hour. And I received a call from the University at Buffalo, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Carlos Oliviencia. And he says, Mr. Santana, congratulations on your acceptance to the University at Buffalo's EOP program. I look forward to seeing you, to having you get on the bus at the Port Authority bus terminal and on such a date. And immediately I tried to weasel my way out of going to the summer program because I needed the money to go to school. And the bottom line was, that man said, Mr. Santana, if you want to be a student at the University at Buffalo, you will be on that bus. Otherwise, the offer is rescinded. So there was a degree of him basically drawing the line in the sand and checking me and saying, look, if you're really committed towards your future and your goals, you will get on that bus. But when I went there, this is the part where all of us come in, where you come in as well. He fulfilled so much more for me. Not only was he hard and stern and challenging me to do better, to focus, but also he bent over backwards for me. No, he helped me get employment on the campus as a student worker. He was very connected in the community, and in my first few weeks there, I had gone to a cultural event in the local community, and it was a community center in the west side of Buffalo. It was called the Pucho Oliviencia Community Center, It just so happened to have been named after his uncle. I show up to that event, and he sees me. And before I could even say anything, he comes up to me and he says to me, Pedro, comite. Pedro, did you eat? And before I could say anything, he grabbed my hand, pulled me into the kitchen. There were 3 men cooking. And he basically told the 3 men, dele a este muchacho todo lo que desea comer. Give this young man everything that he so chooses to eat. Now, so that level of care, that level of commitment has been what's brought me all this way. Now, I've pursued multiple degrees. I have multiple master's degrees, a doctorate. I've pursued multiple doctorates, but one that's confirmed, and multiple certificate programs and so forth. But the reality is that you need to pick, as you go through this experience, what's that question you're seeking to answer? And how will you make meaning out of your lives? How will you help other students find that most important defining moment? And as student senators, that's where we're going to rely on you. This place can be a lot of things to many people, but we want to be the best place we can be. And that's what we're going to rely on you for. The Dean of Students office, we're here and we're about students. There's a lot of areas that report to my office, but we focus on the student experience. So when I mentioned that there were students that felt unconnected or that their needs weren't being served, that's a real thing. That's a real thing that you need to be aware of, because sometimes other students will come to you and you're going to feel like, or they're going to feel by how you react, that you're being dismissive. So you need to make sure that you are attentive. You take copious notes, and then you verify that what you're listening in terms of concerns, that you read them back to them, because you want to make sure that the message doesn't get lost, and that you understand the full context of the message, because that information is going to help us be better, a better university. I do have regular dinners with a few groups. So sometimes I'll have a dinner with the Student Senate to get the feedback from the senators. Sometimes I'll have a dinner with the Greek Council. Sometimes I'll have a dinner with UBSS, Pride, Asian Student Alliance, you name it. So each semester we'll schedule a few dinners. I'll have drop-in with the dean, so open to the campus community. Any student can drop in. We usually get like brownies and coffee or soda or some kind of drink. And students just come and give me feedback. One example of feedback that was brought to one of those meetings a few times during one calendar year, the Arts and Sciences building, we used to have a gravel lot, and students kept on, a few students had punctured tires because of the gravel lot. I took that feedback, I fed it into the system, and guess what? They paved the lot. There's countless examples over my tenure as dean, which is now 7, going on 7, 14 almost total here at the university. But we're going to rely on you. And in terms of emergency preparedness, I relied on, Carl was on a committee for emergency preparedness. There's the Be Prepared link. That was Carl giving me feedback from social media. He said, Pedro, the students are concerned about the shooting at the college in, Oregon, community college in Oregon. And I said, okay, be in my office first thing in the morning. I got the chief of police, a few other folks from telecommunication, from computer services. And guess what? this thing went up quicker than I don't know what, because of the fact that the students were concerned about their safety. We needed to advise them what they could do to better prepare to be safe, and we needed to provide this also to the parents and community members. That's one example of us working together at a rapid pace to do a positive thing for the university community. And there's countless other ones. We also have our fellowships for distinguished students, which a number of you in the room and previous senators have also applied for. This is an opportunity to do real research with a faculty member, and you get a fellowship, a stipend to do that work. We have our CARE program, which I encourage any of you that have time and want to be a CARE mentee, a CARE peer mentor, contact Tamitas. This is one way in which we show that we care to the wide student body, and other initiatives that we have. I have 5 direct reports. 5 people that work directly with me. Craig is one. Stephen Davis is the other one. Gerald Martin, and Tom O'Donnell from Veteran Affairs, and Denise O'Neill, Res Life. 85 people, 85 staff total report to me, report up to me, and 225 students, student worker positions. So that gives you a context of the portfolio of Adena students here at the university, and all the budgets from housing to all the budgets total about $44 million. That also report. But at this point in time, I think I'm going to probably take questions, and offices reporting to me: Career Center, EOF, Event Services, our Child Care Center, Free to Be, Res Life, Student Development, Student Rights, Wellness, which consists of many programs. Our Women's Gender Sexuality Program Center is one of the newest ones. Just turned one year old on March 9th or thereabouts. And Veteran Affairs, who was number 6 in the nation. We pride ourselves in that, in doing our best for those that are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice for what we enjoy here, our freedom.